Hey folks, I'm Dave. I want to thank you for being here. Hope everybody's well today. So in our last laser project, we made a little coffee bar tray to hold cups and sugar and other items. Today we're going to make a wall hanger to complement that, and we're going to use a free font called Ballet Harmony, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description. We're also going to use another font, Arco Typography, a little bit, but mainly the Ballet Harmony. So we'll just start by grabbing the text tool, and I've already got Ballet selected. This one has capital letters and small case. We're going to use both. And note that these letters, I'm going to scroll in a little bit. The letters are overlapped, but you have to have the welded function selected up top. And then when you click the selector tool or click away, it'll weld these together. And there they are, all welded. We're not going to size in the beginning. We'll resize it toward the end because I know how big the piece of wood I have is, which is 13 inches. So we'll keep it something under that. All right, so we'll grab the text tool again. We're going to type out bar. And note that these letters don't touch, but that's okay. We're going to fix it. You can select it. Now remember, you can scroll in and out with your mouse wheel. You can push down and move the entire canvas around. So we are going to right click on bar, go down and convert to path. And what that does, it converts these letters to objects, and then you can move them around. Control Z, put it back where it belongs. But they're not connected. So if you don't group them back together individually, you'll lose parts of your letters if you're not careful. And I've done that and not noticed it until the end. So just select them, group them together to include this little spot up at the top of the R and the center of the B, and just group each one together. Now we can select this A. I'm going to use the left arrow key and bump it and see if it goes too close. We just want that to touch the B a little bit, and then we'll bump the R over. And I think we'll leave the R loose like that because it's going to touch, because we're going to add a coffee cup and a saucer. So grab everything. Well, first grab this B and A and then weld it together, and then grab everything and group it. And then we can just move it up, and we want this to go between those two E's and touch right there. And that looks pretty good. Then select everything and weld it together. If you end up with any small pieces you don't want, like this one, I think that was fine, but you could ungroup and then select those pieces and get rid of them. All right, so let's make us a cup. So to make that cup, we're going to use letters. And I suggest anytime you need vectors, take a look at letters to see if you can make what you want. So in this case, we're going to use the letter D from this Arco Typography, and we're going to make our coffee cup. So I'm going to flip it clockwise with the period key, and then we're going to right click, convert to path. We're going to get rid of that centerpiece. And then we're going to get another D, which I could have got to start with, but didn't. And click the selector tool, right click, convert to path, and this time you want to grab that centerpiece and just make it larger, because we're going to center it, make this look like a cup handle. Then select it, group it back together, Then make it smaller. Hook it onto the side of this cup. Select everything and weld it in. Now we have a cup. Okay, so now we want a saucer of sorts. So let's grab a circle and just draw out an oblong shape like that. Click your selector tool. We'll pull it down. Go to the offset tool. Let's offset to the inside. Looks like 5 might be too much, so let's go 4. That looks okay. I don't think it matters whether we corner or round or bevel. Just leave it inward. Click OK. Grab this and group it together up top, or you could right click and group it here. And then we will attach this to our cup. Let's see if that cup will hang past. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll have to use union versus weld. Nope, it done good. Okay, so let's set this up here, see how it looks, see if we need to resize it. That looks pretty good. We'll bring it down a little bit. And you just want it to touch the E, the R, and that B. And then select everything and weld it together. And that looks pretty good. So let's put some, make it look like it's got steam coming out of the top. So we'll go back. Like I said, try to use letters when you can. It's a good idea, and a lot more often than not, it'll work out. So let's use a small letter S, and probably need 2 of those. So I'll get another one so we have plenty of steam coming out of the cup. And let's see what we can do. Let's flip this one around. And that edge might be a little too small. You just have to play around with this, folks, and do what you think looks right. Let's do that. Select everything, weld it in. And then let's do another one. I don't think we want that small piece sticking out. Let's do that. Maybe these won't be too small. And then grab everything and weld it together. It kind of looks like a spoon. I think I'm going to do that over. I'm going to Control Z and back up on both of these. I make a lot of mistakes, folks, but hopefully it is a benefit to you and keeps you from having to make as many as I do. So I'm going to flip that S around and let this larger piece poke out like that. Select it and weld it in. That makes me feel better. We could flip this one around and have it go the other way, or just let it go like this. Select and weld. That looks okay. All right, let's put some something on top, make it look a little frothy. So grab a circle and an ellipse and just draw out a oblong shape. Click OK, or your selector tool, not OK. I'm going to scroll in a little closer. We can right click on this, convert it to path, and then we can use our node editing tool right over here on the left in the creation tools. And if you hover over the edge, you can use the letter I, and you can add nodes anywhere you want to. You can put as many in here as you like. And then you can manipulate this top by grabbing and pulling it around. And we'll just make it look a little lumpy and wavy on top. Maybe, if I can grab a hold of it. Hope that's not behind my face. And whatever looks good to you, you do that. You can play around with this and make it look really nice. Okay, we have froth, so let's take it up top, get it resized, and that looks pretty good. So I know I talk a lot, folks, but I have to talk my way through what I'm doing, being a newbie, and hopefully it is more help than it is hindrance. So now you need to group everything together, and like I said, I've got a 13-inch piece of wood, so I'm gonna cheat and use the inches instead of millimeters. I'm gonna make the width 12 and just let the height go wherever it needs to go. All right, folks, and I believe we are ready to jump in the laser and cut this out. So if you were concerned about the width of any of these pieces to know if they're too thin to cut, you can use the ruler over here on the left, and any part that turns purple, that's your measurement over here where it says segment length. As a matter of fact, let me turn this back to millimeters. Do that again. And if you, any of them that are not automatic, you can left click and you can drag across to where you want to know the length. And you can see that's 9.43 millimeters for the segment length. So that's plenty. Now some of these other smaller portions might be in danger of being too thin, but that's almost 4 millimeters, so that's good. So we're going to go with this. Let me jump in the laser, get it set up. We'll cut this out, see what it looks like. Okay, folks, I'll be right back. All right, so we're ready to cut this out. We're using 5 millimeter Luan plywood. It's a hardwood, really nice project wood, so I'll leave a link for that down in the description. It's the same wood we used for the last project. So this is my last piece. So if I mess this up, I got to make my way down to the hardware. So okay, let's send the code over and we'll cut this out, see what it looks like. All right, let me get this out and let this smoke clear and we'll take a closer look at it. Well, here's our finished wall hanger. I think it turned out really nice and it'll complement the coffee bar tray we made in the last project, and it'll fit right in with the hot cocoa tray that we're going to do in the next project. So it'll make a really nice set. And of course you can make this larger. I was limited by the size of the piece of wood that I had left over, and it was my last piece of that 5 millimeter Luan plywood. I use a lot of it, and I'll put a link down in the description so you can go get some if you like. And I will put links to the 2 fonts we used. And I suggest when you need a vector, look through some of the fonts you have and see if you can find something that's close that you can shape into what you need. And I know I've said it before, but Lightburn doesn't actually come with any fonts. It just inherits what is on your computer or what you download. So if you give this a try and you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I'll get you an answer. And if you have any questions about anything I've got posted or any general laser or Lightburn questions, I'm glad to answer those. The questions in the comments help me as a newbie but they also help any of the viewers that come across them, and I really appreciate it. So if this was helpful, please like and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow, and it'll help me to be able to keep doing it. So just check back often for new videos. You folks take care, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.